One of the things that always happens is thoughts trigger thoughts. The question I asked the last session is, who can tell me, Francine, you cannot answer, the 4 values of Toastmasters International?
Service?
Service
to the member?
Yes, ma'am. That's one.
Okay.
Friendliness.
Friendliness is very important. Not one of the values, though, but very important. Nice try. Dana?
I would just ask, because I'm often a dissenting element, the stated written values or
Yes.
the values that are demonstrated?
Stated written.
Okay.
There's a point to this, Dana.
There is.
There is a point. Any other guesses?
Mutually beneficial.
Important, but no. Mr. Trouble back there, do you know?
No.
Okay. So, integrity, service to the member, well, that's actually third. Dedication to excellence, and respect for the individual. And I told Francine she couldn't answer because I gave this speech last week. So that would not have been fair. The reason why the values, I think, for me, are important, well, not I think, I know, for me, are important, is because if you think about service to the member, if you think about respect for the individual, then it doesn't become about you, it becomes about the people who make up our clubs. It becomes about their goals. What do they want to accomplish? So, I say to the President's Distinguished Clubs, if you have someone who's working on that 5th CC in your club, do you say, yeah, can we hold off on that until next term? Or do we really give them the service and let them get that award with pride and say, oh my God, I got my CC, or oh my God, I got my DTO? It's about service to the member. They are the people that we focus on. That is our focus. That is our charge as leaders. We in the district are here to help you as club officers, to give you resources, to give you assistance, to give you help in whatever way that you need help, whether that's with membership or leadership or whatever you may need help with. We're here to serve you because you are serving our members. They are the cornerstone of our program. The president is charged with keeping track of your progress, but also understanding that we are serving the member. The executive committee meetings are one way to do that because you're communicating, constantly communicating with each other and understanding what it is that your membership wants. That's the start. If somebody tells you, I don't want to ... you find out what they want to do and you help them with that. Doesn't mean they'll never do it. You can always come back and revisit it after they've accomplished what they want to accomplish. But it is about their accomplishments. The president is also a liaison to the district. The president is the person who communicates with the area governor. How many of you know your area governors? Awesome. Nice. So, if you have an issue, if you want to do something, if you want to help, if you want to assist, if you know someone else that needs help or assistance, that person is your liaison to the district because we're here to serve you. Service to the clubs is what the district does. The officers serve the member. So we're here to help. We are a resource. Even if you don't know whether you should ask the question, ask it anyway. It's not going to hurt anything, because we like to hear the questions anyway. Let's just kind of have a feel of what's going on out there, right? Leadership, as it applies to the Distinguished Club Program, is in your manual as well. So we're talking about the leadership track. We're talking about goals number 5 and number 6. What do we do in goals number 5 and 6?
Goal 5, here it says, one competent leader, advanced leader, or distinguished Toastmaster.
Yes. And what's goal number 6?
One more.
One more, that's right. One more. The reason why you want to share what your members want to do is because there are some people who want to do things that are on a district level to earn these awards. The very first thing is the Competent Leader Award. So, how many of you use the Competent Leader book every meeting? How many of you come to a meeting in your Toastmaster and you don't have anybody sign off on your book or give you feedback? If you're doing the role, get the credit. It's just that simple. If you're completing the role, get the credit. Then the CO manual is not an effort, it's just something natural. If you don't want to bring the book with you, or you forget like I do, you can leave it with your club, Sergeant at Arms, if you do that in your club, and pick it up there. So you want to earn that. Everyone in this room today, because you are a club officer, you have the opportunity to earn your Advanced Leader Bronze Award, but you can't get that until you get your CO. Can't do one without that. And of course, you have to do things like give something out of the Leadership Excellence Series or the Successful Club Series. But that's going to help your club. That's going to serve your members. High performance leadership projects, there are always things to do. It's a conversation. Doesn't have to be a hindrance. It doesn't have to be something that stops you in your tracks. You can do that at any time that you are leading a group of people. That's what the requirement is. Whether it's in an organization, whether it's in Toastmasters, whether it's at your church, whether it's at work, if you are leading a project or a group of people in something, you can accomplish that high performance leadership project. And it doesn't have to be done in order. You can do that at any time. That's one of the things that having the conversation about your goals will help you get through. Yes, Ms. Llewellyn?
So you're saying, Stephanie, now I am, for the next 2 years, president of my church women's group, that could be my high performance.
You're working on a project and you're leading a group? Yes, ma'am. It's a conversation we can have and talk about. Definitely. And I have the books. We can do that. Club coaching, mentoring, sponsoring, that can happen. Just have to have the conversation. It doesn't have to happen in order. If you have the interest and the desire, we can make it happen for you. So that's what we're here for. We're here to help you as you're helping. Because you have goals too, right? I mean, you're not just sitting in your clubs just twiddling your thumbs, right? We're here to help. We also have a special guest today that's going to talk to us about district leadership positions, and that is our region advisor, Jim Herring.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. There's so much that goes beyond participation in the club in Toastmasters. Who regularly attends area events, division events, district events here by a show of hands? Now, when you go outside the club, what did you learn the first time, sir?
that they're conducted similarly to our club meetings, and that it's all one big family, all with the same goal and purpose in mind.
A united purpose. We're all a family. Someone else can give me another reason what you got from getting outside the club.
It was an opportunity for me to understand that Toastmasters International is a larger organization. There is a procedure, but at the same time it's a lot of fun because the networking and the friendship was all over the place. So at the club level, area level, district level, the first time that we attended a conference was fantastic. We really had a lot of fun.
Fantastic. He wants you all to go to Erie, Pennsylvania, the Sheraton Bayfront Erie, for the spring conference. Did you hear that? Let's applaud. Some of you are saying, it's too far away. I'm saying that's perfect. Why? Because it's the 3-hour drive. It's a 3-hour drive back. Who wants to go in the morning and come back in the evening? It gives you reason to go for the weekend. Make it a weekend affair with Toastmasters. Friday night, you can have dinner with Toastmasters. Saturday, you can do the district conference. There's probably a fun night, too. Friday night. Sunday, you can have breakfast with Toastmasters, talking about everything that took place, and you can take a leisurely drive home. That will be the best district conference you've ever attended because it's so far away. Yes?
I just want to say that I was in Las Vegas, and the district conference there was almost always 5 to 6 hours away because it'd be either Los Angeles or Fresno or something like that. 3 hours is nothing. I mean, even though I'm just amazed at how close everything is out east.
3 hours is a drop in the bucket, absolutely. So why do we have district conferences? Who can tell me the 2 main reasons? You can tell me just one.
Education.
I beg your pardon?
Education.
There's education, and you learn something yourself. There's another reason.
We also have the finalist contests in the spring. We have the humorous and the table topics. In the spring, we will have the evaluation and the international speech contest finalists for the district.
Exactly. Exactly. The international speech contest for the district winner happens in Erie, Pennsylvania. And why is that exciting? Because the winner from your district gets a free trip to Orlando, Florida to participate in the semifinals. And you want to see your person do the best they can, and if you can attend as many of your area and division contests, you will see your candidates progress, get better from level to level, and then you'll see them when they win that trophy, maybe give the best speech of all, and then they're ready to go to Orlando to compete with 85 other speakers from around the world. 85 still people that they have to compete with to finally get down to the last 9 finalists that will speak at the international conference on Saturday. But did you ever think that if people compete at club level, area club level, division level, district level, how many people participated in the international speech contest from around the world? It's tens of thousands of people. It's huge. It's a huge event. But anyway, that's important. The other reason for the district conference, one more reason.
Networking.
Networking is good, but another important reason.
Practice. For those that are doing the workshops, they're hosting it. The higher achievers that have already achieved their basic skills, now they're practicing.
Now they're practicing. You're getting better. You're getting better skills. And now you're going to say, this man is insane, because he's going to say it's the business meeting. See, I've been the district parliamentarian any number of times, and that has been what I've prepared for weeks in advance to make sure our district governor stayed between the script and didn't veer off and had an efficient business meeting that didn't take 3 hours to conduct. It was a crisp 55-minute meeting or so. That's what we go for. And so the business meeting is one of the highlights for me, because after I sort of worked with some district governors, I just enjoy being in the audience and seeing how that parliamentarian has been guiding their district governor, because It's not the district governor, it's really the district parliamentarian that's keeping them on track. Believe me. So, but in that business meeting, you get to do something that's very important for your district, and that is to elect or confirm your district officers for the next year. And that is a huge opportunity to go from the club into district office. You can be appointed as an area governor, division governor, or secretary. In this district, you are elected as a division governor, lieutenant governor of marketing, lieutenant governor of education and training, and district governor. It gets exciting when more than one person competes for those things. Otherwise, it's a fairly simple one. The secretary casts one vote for the approval, and now and then you have excitement. And that can be useful education as well. So, here would like the opportunity to take on roles outside their club. And many of you have, I know that. But think about, if you've never been an area governor before, trying that out. You don't have to have been the whiz kid club president. Let me tell you my story, how I became area governor of the year of District 45. I was a busy man working for an insurance company in information technology. I had a team of 18 people. I didn't need any more leadership opportunities. And in my club, I said, I'll volunteer to be the very important club historian. I didn't even want credit. I filed the weekly agenda in a binder. That was my job. And I was happy to do a good job doing it. So much so, I got elected to district treasurer the next year. Did a pretty good job there. Became the club's member of the year. Outstanding Toastmaster. And I was sitting innocently at the breakfast table. We met Friday mornings at 7 o'clock at the Capital City Diner in Concord, New Hampshire. And Faye Plowman, the area governor, was coming for her semi-annual visit, and she had not found an area governor to replace her yet. And as luck would have it, she sat next to me, and we had a pleasant conversation over scrambled eggs and bacon. And before the end of the meeting, she looked at me and said, Jim, you'd be an excellent area governor. And I said, well, I've never been president. Doesn't matter. And so I said, okay. And then I had a huge experience. I went to my first district conference. My first district conference at that point was 14 hours away in Halifax, Nova Scotia, driving. We took a ferry overnight, and that made it kind of fun. I even danced with Faye Plowman on the ferry, and when I was like in my 30s, she was like 62 years old. That was pretty funny. But we had a good time, and I went from that good time on to the district conference and said, wow, this is really fun. I liked Halifax, I liked the people, and I liked the events that took place in the conference. And I was trained, and that started me off in a year in which I didn't really understand the word delegation and teamwork and how to get together a team. My job would have been much easier, but I put together my own banquets for our speech contest. We didn't just have a speech contest, we had a banquet. I had 55 and 60 people attending a banquet in the fall and the spring for those area speech contests. Now in those days we didn't have divisions, and not everyone was willing to make a 14-hour trip to Canada. And so that was our big end-of-year event in the area at that point. And I did a good job with those. I also, during the year, put together an area council that was effective and fun, and people had a lot of time attending because we did something very important in that we had education sessions, and we didn't purely talk about where are you in the 10 district goals, and we actually did things where we interacted, shared experiences, helped our fellow officers improve their clubs through the council. And lo and behold, the little district treasurer that didn't want to assume more responsibilities became the area governor of the year from some hard work, but very rewarding, and I was hooked to go on to continue on the track to district governor by being PRO, LGM legit, and district governor. I learned a lot from all of those experiences, more so than I could ever learn in the club, more so than I've ever learned working in information technology for insurance companies or the government. And these are opportunities waiting for you to harvest for yourselves. Experiences where you will work and you will learn and you will be rewarded for the love you give to your members, for your clubs, your fellow collaborators within the district team when you take on those positions. So there are elected officers. Those are the district governor, the LEGEM, division governors, and district treasurer in this district. Now is the time when the nominations committee begins meeting. Nomination committee chairs are going out scouring high and low throughout your district look for eager people to assume these roles. Current LEGET and your current district governor as people that have shown the interest in higher levels, and that they are vetted through a process where they present themselves at the district council in Erie, Pennsylvania for election. So, you may not be ready for that step to be elected, but there are places where you can be appointed. Area governors, the public relations officer, and district secretary. All of these are useful experiences that are learning experience. It will also give you credit on your trip to Distinguished Toastmaster. Are there any questions about those opportunities? Yes?
Can you have a club role and a district role, or is it one or the other?
I am currently, and this is insane, a president of 2 clubs, which I didn't really mean to do, and the region advisor. And so yes, you can do that. So, all right, I'm not going to quiz you anymore about that. Let's move on to the next topic, and that is the international conventions. International conventions are exciting. My first one was in Louisville. I remember it distinctly. I was driving my 1990 Chevy Lumina. The district governor was driving, and he kept on riding the brake through the Cumberland Pass in West Virginia on our trip over there, and he blew out my brakes that had to be fixed before we got home. Anyway, from there on, it was a lot of fun. Fun all the way. The activities that are interacting with other Toastmasters is what I get out of our international conferences. The opening ceremonies today is breathtaking. When you see our leaders speak from the lectern, when you see the flags from around the world that are paraded in to the front of the stage, and that it ends with Canada, it ends with Canada, it ends with the United States, and there is applause for every country along the way, and you know those cheering sections from Australia, you know the sections from Europe, you know the sections from Africa, and you realize we are much bigger than a USA organization. We are an international organization, and you feel pride just from the opening ceremonies. And that doesn't even talk about the educational opportunities throughout, the interesting speech contest, board meetings, elections. It's a fun-packed 4 days. It will be down in Orlando this year. So what elections take place at the International Convention? It's for our international directors, and it's for our next second vice president. Because our vice presidents actually do get elected year after year for 4 years, but pretty much I don't remember any of our international officers starting at a second vice president ever being knocked off on their way to being president of the organization, but they're elected too. And that is a key part of that international conference, is to interact with those people that are on the board. And you can not only talk to the candidates, you could talk to anyone. You see, we are all Toastmasters. We are a family, like you said, in that there is no other place on earth that you can walk up to someone and start chatting, and they won't, like in New York City, just walk by you. That's what's happened to me in New York City when I asked for directions, so I just threw that in. But you can just connect and network with people so easily. And you can just widen your circle of friends that are Toastmasters and learn so much. So what else can you get from the International Convention? Should I tell them?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I was minding my own business, sort of, at the International Speech Contest semifinals. The International Speech Contest semifinals has 3 concurrent sessions of about 9 speakers each, because you've got to get 85 speakers in, and then you have 3 contests in a row. It requires multiple hours of sitting through speeches. A lot of people say I can't do that. I said I'm going to do that, and I did that, and I was sitting 3rd seat in from the end of a row, and a woman just happens to sit herself down at the end of the row, and I look over and say, that's a fairly attractive woman. And over the way, we said hello, and over the way, we shared some ideas about the speakers we saw, and over the way, I sat next to her, and we shared some more, and we started joking, and that I invited her for dinner, and we went out after the contests, and we took a walk. A few months later, we got engaged on Christmas. So that was pretty neat for this single guy to meet another Toastmaster who actually, another woman who is a Toastmaster who actually understands my enthusiasm for this organization. Single women out there, you may not find the man of your dreams, because it took me a lot of conferences to go to before the right woman sat down near me. So just an idea. So where are we on this? Okay. We elect international directors and the international officers. Another level of international today is the region advisor, the role that I fulfill. Region advisors are appointed by a committee. It is led by the president-elect of the organization. In September, you fill in an application form of your interest to be in the position of region advisor. It does have qualifications. You must have served as a lieutenant governor for 12 months. You don't even have had to have done the district officer, district governor position. We have a past LGM that never went beyond LGM, who is currently the region advisor for Region 1. You also need to demonstrate that you have ability to speak and to teach. You have also some marketing experience in your background. You write this up in a resume kind of form and you send it in. In October, you get a phone call from an international director who asks you questions for exactly 30 minutes. You've got to organize yourself so that you give your answers, that you can fit as many answers in as possible. The committee actually sends out questionnaires to ask questions about you from your home districts so that they get to know you. They make phone calls to past international directors and international directors. So there's an investigation going on when you apply. Though that committee presents their results to the board in early February when they meet in California. From that, region advisors are selected and informed that they've been invited to serve for the following year, and your term of office starts from March 1st until June 30th of the following year. That first 4 months is meant to be a getting up to speed period of time where you're not allowed to actually communicate and you're not allowed to actually go to districts, but you're meant to follow the current RA in their duties so that you can sort of understand what they're doing. It's a position that's evolving. The first year that this position existed, it was Region Advisor Marketing. This year, the title was changed to Region Advisor. Why? Because now we're more involved in all the operations of the district, but focused on marketing, so that we are inclusive of all the district officers within the things that we do. And what do? I attend district functions like this one, TLI, or District Executive Committee meetings. We're not meant to attend district conferences. We're not allowed to give keynote speeches. And our role is to be a counselor and an advisor to the district teams. And I do that by holding monthly teleconference calls. I try to put together an agenda, and we have a discussion amongst ourselves as to how the officers are doing, and they share stories, they share experiences, and it helps them improve themselves in their position. We also have 2 opportunities for training. Next weekend we're going to Atlanta, Georgia. And so Stephanie and her team will be in Atlanta, Georgia, and they'll be training for 2 days on Friday and Saturday. There's also training at the start of, well, not at the start of your term, at the International Conference. There's a 2-day training session for district officers as well. And that's what the Region Advisor pretty much does, other than being available by email or telephone for the odd question or problem that arises for us to provide advice on what's the best course of action. And that's what the Region Advisor does. It's a fun position. You get involved with the district leaders. You get to come and meet Toastmasters at TLIs and district executive meetings. And I think it's very enjoyable. Off at 11, right? 5 minutes. Now, once you become an international director, those people have faced the international audience and gathered votes enough to get elected to be international director. Some of those few actually go to the international conference and are not opposed. And so they have a fairly easy time in that election process. And then there's those people that would like to be second vice president, first vice president, president-elect, or the international president. I always take a lot of joy, because I have contested the position of international director, to see international directors who were not contested when they were becoming international directors suddenly be faced with a contest to second vice president. Because those people that are contested for the position of international director go through the ringer of questions and competition that those that have not had that opportunity have, and it shows in that campaign. And it's a growth process for Toastmasters to do any of these positions. And so what they have is a 4-year process, second vice president, first vice president, president-elect, and president, to prepare the president for their year for the term of office. And that includes the 5th year, because the immediate past president is just about as important position as any of the positions on the board. They take part in all the decisions. And that is how our organization works top from bottom. Now, in your clubs, you deliver the services to the member that we depend on so much. This illustration in your guide shows the member lives here at the top. That world headquarters here, the board of directors and region advisors and district officers are all below, serving the organization upward in order to deliver services to the member. It's a model of servant leadership. In effect, you are servants to your clubs. You are helping your clubs deliver services to help your members get what they came to Toastmasters for. People come to Toastmasters because they want to improve their communication skills. They have realized through time they don't measure up in that area. They may feel lack of confidence. They may feel shy. They may not be able to utter a word in public. But Toastmasters, time and time again, allows people to rise above those personal barriers to become public speakers. All of us have our stories. My story is that I had this great ego that thought I could speak. I probably still do. But I found out that I really could not put a coherent sentence together without ums and ahs and gripping no cards or papers. And that through Toastmasters, I've overcome that and beyond, in my opinion. And that you can do that too. And that is what we deliver to our members as our servant leaders. You are responsible for providing an environment where people can learn and grow. And if you do your jobs as officers of your clubs, as is described in your manuals, as is suggested by your leaders, you will help deliver excellent services. You will help your clubs, help your members improve. And when your members improve, They complete educational awards. They get leadership awards. They, because the environment is a positive environment, people join the club, and 4 members join, and then 4 more members join, and then even more members join. And that without focusing on 10 factors, because the services you deliver are such that people want to join you, want to stay with you, want to do their educational completions, being a 10 for 10 club becomes reality year after year after year. Not many clubs can do that. But if you encourage your officers to attend training, if you have frequent officer executive council meetings, if you work to improve using moments of truth, for instance, to self-evaluate and deliver better services to your clubs, you could be a 10 for 10 club. Let's hear a rallying cry now. We want to be 10 for 10. We want to be 10 for 10. We want to be 10 for 10. So, I invite
We will be 10 for 10.
All right.
I invite you to go forward. Follow your manuals, take the instruction from today, work to improve your club, bring in members, make the 10 factors easy, and be 10 for 10. Madam District Governor.
Any questions? Yes, Caroline.
I would like to hear from our guests what your best growth, skill development, et cetera, that you got out of participating at the higher level.
At any higher level?
Yeah,
Or
your
area governor?
favorite, you know, like, well, I learned so much about such and such by being area governor or district.
I think area governor is where the most growth took place. I would look at area governors and say, wow, they can speak so well, they can present themselves so well, they know so much about Toastmasters. And I measured myself up against that. And so I said, wow, I've got a little gap here. And I measured that gap. And I said, this is where I want to be. And I got something in my head that said, I want to be there. And that during that year, I went from working in my competent communication manual to actually, and not just giving a speech, but actually feeling that when I gave a speech, that I affected others, I moved others, I persuaded others. And it was from that area governor experience saying, I need to be here, that all of a sudden I felt I felt in myself a self-confidence that said I have the power of public speaking. That was a huge growth for me.
Any other questions? Yes, Larry.
Stephanie, I don't have a question, but I wanted to address something to Caroline and the group. I became an area governor, and it was a little bit of a reach for me, but what it has given me is tremendous confidence. And I had 2 incidents that have happened to me this year. One I won't go into because it's very sad, but during that incident, my experience as an area governor and the confidence helped me easily get through this. And the other one I can tell you about, we had a huge Navy audit, the mother of all audits, and my boss went on vacation and put me in charge the week before and the week of. And I think being the area governor was just so useful in the confidence that I was able to do this. And I think if besides Toastmasters or speaking, you just gain confidence by taking leadership roles.
Thanks, Larry. Anybody else? We good? Thank you for coming.